always love talking about the world of comics and the variety of comics that are being promoted, published, and shared in the world. And delighted on this episode to be talking with someone who loves comics as well, I believe, and that is creator Kevin Davis. Kevin, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It might been a long time
Absolutely.
coming.
Yeah, yeah, we have been sort of circling on social media for a while, and I know that I've followed your posts, so appreciate the connection there. And on this
Yes,
episode, we're
sir.
talking about your publishing group. So please tell us about that. Is this Kevysie? Is this right? Did I say that right?
Yes. Yes, Kevysie. It's Kevysie. Yeah.
Kevysie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
nice,
like, you was
nice.
almost there. It just Kevysie.
Yeah, there
So
there
yeah.
was only one syllable. I was one
Yeah.
syllable
Yeah.
away.
So
Yeah,
like so close. But yeah.
that's right.
But yeah, my publishing company, Kevysie International. Um People ask me how did I come up with the name Kevysie? I say, well, my name is Kevin and I want to build a legacy of storytelling.
Nice. Love it. Yeah.
And I add the international part because I want to grow my brand internationally, potentially become um, a whole, I'm not how to explain it, a global name in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to touch as many hearts as I can. And I just love storytelling. As a nerd, I watch a lot of shows, a lot of movies.
Hmm.
I read a lot of books. I'm a big fan of Percy Jackson, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, so many different fantasy type of books. And then on the comic side, you have I read mostly independent comics. I haven't really read like the Marvel DC because that's the norm.
Hmm.
So I went to like the Dark Horse with Hellboy. Um,
Nice choice. Yeah. Yeah.
IDW with Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, when they had to cross over Stranger Things, Sonic, so many great titles. I had to sink my teeth into because I love having imagination, just building out my imagination, so I can just create my own stuff. So I take so much inspiration from so many things, and I just run wild. As I've been
Nice.
told, I just run wild and just have a blast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Now, Kevysie is located with Global Comics. Is that right? It's
yeah,
on
yep,
Global Comics.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. I just put it up there. It's official.
Nice. Very nice. So
Yes,
people
sir.
can go and access it and see what it's all about pretty openly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did you get into the world of comics and storytelling? It sounds like you have some of the titles that were some of my go-tos for teaching. I was a middle school teacher for about 8 years, and I taught Percy Jackson. I taught The Hobbit because they were things that I
Oh,
loved and continue to be. Uh,
awesome.
yeah, we're working in the cool stuff whenever possible. So what was your
Yes.
intro?
So I'm going to be honest, I didn't grow up reading comics actually.
Cool,
Um,
cool.
yeah, because I watched movies. I learned about Marvel from their movies and shows. I didn't even know they were comics at first. Even with
Hmm.
DC, I didn't know anything about the comics. I was like, okay, these some cool characters, cool. I was just the movie goer, and then I hear people talking about this is based on these characters from the comics. I'm like, comics? I was like, really? I was like, wait, I can actually read their story before they come to life. It's like, oh, okay. But still, I didn't even read the Marvel comics either, anyway, because I wasn't that interested at first.
Yeah.
But I got interested in reading comics when COVID pandemic started in 2020.
Hmm. Hmm.
I never really go out anyway, so it was kind of normal for me. I'm an introvert, so I'm like I stay in the house anyway. Um, but sometimes you get tired and you just want to try something new. And so I'm just like, you know what? Let me try out this comic thing. I might get interested in it. I might not. Never know if I don't try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
True enough.
so what was the first comic? I think my first comic I started was actually independent comics. From a
Nice.
company called Black Sense Entertainment. I follow him
Hmm.
on TikTok and Instagram, and I bought his trade back hardcovers. And I'm like, this is interesting. Let me check it out.
Hmm.
And then I started falling in love with it. And then after that, I got so much. Um, I guess on my FYP, I guess when how to explain it when they put up, well, you like this, you might like this too. Basically, how like the mutual thing. I forgot how to call it. But then I learned about Dark Horse, Image,
Hmm.
IDW, Dynamite, uh, Valiant. I think it's Val-
Hmm.
Valiant,
Hmm.
right? That's when I heard. But that's how I found out about Bloodshot at Valiant Comics. I was like, how many companies are there? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's really exploded. It really has.
Oh, like I only knew about Marvel and DC once I found out they was comics first. And then so many publishers. I was like, I'm gonna try these out. And then that's how I fell in love with Hellboy because I saw the movie first, and then I learned it was a comic.
Hmm.
So I bought my first Hellboy comics. I was like, whoa, this is freaking cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I started just falling in love with comics and like I'm like I call this is my nerd era for life because I just realized I am a full-fledged nerd and I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way I
Embrace
got
the fandom.
exactly and and the way I started writing my own comics is where I got to the point where I tell everybody this. I'm like, I kind of got tired. I did get tired of like the Hollywood reboots and just the
Hmm.
continued remakes. And it's like, I'm gonna watch them, but I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. And I got to the point of like, why do I need to wait on somebody to do a story I want to see when I can just make it myself?
True enough. Yeah.
And so I started researching how to make comics, how to start it, how to go about the entire production. Um, I talked to other comic writers I met online, asking like advice on how to write a script. Because I'm like, I have to write a script like a movie, and they was like, yes, but it's just in a different format, and you have to be very descriptive so the artist can understand what you're envisioning for your story. And I'm like, interesting, okay. And so like over time, I just try to figure out what's my craft, like trying to hone my craft, what story I want to tell, how I want to tell it. And the way I went about it is I base a lot of my characters off of people that inspired me. So I started with family, and then I started with myself, which um, which actually goes into my first comic, Arkfyre,
Hmm. Hmm.
because Arkfyre is it's a story of self-discovery. Um, where my character Cthulhu Arkfyre, he's from a different planet. You would know that from as soon as you open issue one, you can see he's from a different planet. Uh, because in issue one, it opens up where he's waking up from a cocoon in the science lab.
Yeah.
And so he busts out and he's questioning, saying, what am I? Who am I? And because that's how I kind of been growing up. I was like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I here on this earth? What am I
Hmm.
supposed to do? So that's kind of how I started my storytelling. And I became very big mental health advocate because I deal with mental health every single day. And I try to bring stories like they can be relatable and help people like also grow their imagination and just escape the world for a bit and just have fun reading because that's
Hmm.
too much media going on. I'm like, I just want to get people, especially kids, just to read and just have an imagination because I feel like that we're missing that today. It's just have an
Yeah.
imagination to explore, find your creativity, find what you love, and just be you. And just don't be afraid to just be you. That's how I got into my storytelling as well. I'm like, just be you. Don't be somebody that another person wants you to be. Just find out who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that message, and I love the sharing of your personal story. Um, I imagine that parts of your story also kind of help you think about the stories that you want to share in comics as
Mm.
well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. and that's kind of like I found out my strong suit is horror and fantasy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I say that because I grew up in with a lot of anger and like a lot of dark clouds around my mind, and writing became my therapy. Because my mom is also a writer, and she taught me how to write. Because I read her first book, which is a murder mystery. She hasn't published yet because I think she's revamping it. Um, and she let me read it, and that also what sparked my fire in writing because I want to challenge myself and um see what I can do with my imagination, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
growing up dealing with anger, depression, having those type of thoughts in my head that yeah. Um, I don't want to make this too heavy. But
you're good. You're good.
um, I punched the wall because that was I didn't know how to control my emotions. I just could. Um, until my mom grabbed me. And she was like, grab a journal, write your thoughts out, and don't move until you get stuff out. Because punching walls or doing anything violent does not help. It only makes you more angry. And it really did. And and the other thing I found out I have a gift in writing was in high school, in ninth grade, first paper, history class, African American history class. He graded us from a level 1 to 5, where 1 is you're not there, you need a lot of help. 3 is there, you're there, just want to push you higher, and 5 is like you're there, just stay there. First paper ever, he I was a level 3 and I was completely shocked. And my
Nice. Yeah.
teacher's like, you have beautiful writing. I just want to push you higher to that college professional level of writing. Like you're literally almost there. You just have to curve the ball a little bit more to get there.
Hmm.
And I was like, really? I was like, I freaking hate writing. And that was one of my things. My mom also told me is that when you realize the thing you hate the most, you're actually really good at. And I'm just like, crap, my mom's right. So that's kind of like that's basically my origins of getting into writing and storytelling and just having an imagination and just having fun, just being me. And yeah, and also I'm currently working on transforming my poetry into comics. There's some
Oh, cool.
so I'm challenging myself to see how I can like transition or translate that into comics too. So I just like bouncing between things, just to like what can I play with? Like what can I
Yeah.
sink my teeth into that I can play with and make it a story and make it a comic that could potentially help people or just I was like, I don't even if it's just one person that makes my day. I was like, I don't need like millions. So like I'm not spending like millions, but if it's just one
Hmm.
person that tells me that helped them, my goal is set.
Yeah, I love that idea of transforming poetry into comics. I've seen a
Yes,
couple
sir.
of really cool verse novels that have been done in comics form, and then there's a collection called Poems to See By, which takes like
Hmm.
kind of like some of your classic poems, like maybe
Hmm.
Emily Dickinson and some of those, and puts like some images with them. So I will be
Yes,
looking forward to
yes, I
seeing what
love
you,
that.
yeah, looking forward to seeing what you explore with that.
Yeah, and that's actually why I started my magazine, the Kevysie International Magazine, because that's where I'm thinking I'm actually going to publish my poetry and have some imagery of showing what the certain lines mean, so you
Love
can
that.
read it, but you also can see it. Like this is what I
Yeah.
mean when you're reading the poetry. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that move. And I mean, you've talked about horror and fantasy, but poetry kind of has that openness across
Mhm.
genre, and you can do a lot of really cool things with poetry too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you mentioned your mom is an inspiration and somebody that has guided you on this path, your ninth grade teacher. Who are some other collaborators on the kind of the comic side and anywhere else along the path that have been part of the journey?
My friend Danny Quick at Ace Blade Comics. Well, Fourth
Mhm,
Wall.
mhm.
His comics Ace Blade. Fourth Wall Productions. Carissa Grant, Laura Calcaterra, um, Travis Gibb. I have a long list. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest. My other friend Dennis Knight, who is also writing articles for my magazine. I got
nice.
I Dennis Knight has actually been my dream collaboration ever since I first met him. I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt like he's like a brother to me. When I first met him, I was like, I would love to work with him, and now we're working together on multiple projects coming soon. I can't speak on just quite yet because I want to get farther into production first.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a long list. I can't name them all. I can't name them all because I don't want to trip up anybody's names.
That
Um,
is it's a fortunate path if the list is long, and I'm
yeah,
familiar with most of the people that you're mentioning so far. They've
yeah,
connected with me, and I've connected with their work. So great community.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, Pops and Madness Entertainment. Got to shout out to
Hmm.
Pops, and Doc, and my friends at Team Devil Flyer, and his podcasts, Shadowhawk. So many amazing creators that basically took me under the ring and just pushed me and s- supported me this entire time and still are. And it's really been beautiful, and I'm honestly shocked because I wasn't really expecting it to get any type of support because I was just ready to do this by myself. And but people love what I do, and it really pushes me to keep going.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I know that on Kevysie right now, there's Mad Pops is on there. Havoc is currently on the site, as well as Skin Shifter. So I'm curious about kind of like what's next and what's on the radar.
If I said it one more time,
And
you was a bit staticky. I can hear
oh,
everything you said.
sorry, yeah, it paused there for a second. I was just gonna say, so
Yeah,
what is next and what is on the
yeah,
radar?
sorry. That's a lot.
Good, good,
Um,
good.
so so Skin Shifter is I'm actually rebooting Skin Shifter into like a trade paperback. So that's currently being worked on now. Mad Pops, it's a new series, a new post apocalyptic world series. Um, so that's gonna be filled with different type of creatures that comes out of my mind, based on two brother. If you love supernatural, I think you'll love Mad Pops.
Nice.
I'd say supernatural on steroids with Mad Pops. And I kind of give like that Western vibe to it, too, because I love Westerns, and so I want to write my own Western. So I'm like, it's Western mixed with horror, mixed with drama, mixed with sarcasm, of course. You gotta have some sarcasm.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
so that's coming soon. I have a zombie saga coming soon. It's called Terminus. Um, I think I'm still debating if I'm going to make the single issues or maybe a possible trade back too, depending on how I tell the story. Of course, Arkfyre is continuing. I have about 15 issues in my head I want to do of Arkfyre, and then potential spin-offs of Arkfyre to expand the universe of Arkfyre. Um, my I my second issue of my magazine is coming out soon. And more of my magazine is kind of is a mixed culture of comics and mental health. My
Mm-hmm.
mag because that's why when people ask what kind of magazine you do, I say lifestyle comic culture magazine to
Nice.
put it all
Nice.
together. Um, in my magazine, I have interviews of different creators that people can check out, and because I want to like try to help promote them too, and not just me, because this is an entire community. So I want people to like try to build a reader platform where you can see other creators as well in my magazine, and articles written by Dennis Knight. Uh, he wrote the articles, Unwanted Advice. It's basically giving advice of joining. If you want to join the comic industry, you have to do these steps.
Mhm.
And if you can't do this is not for you. If you don't have the mentality or the tenacity to do this in the comic industry, it's not for you. You have to find something else to do. You have to find
Yeah.
what's for you. And then, of course, I have some mental health. I actually, yeah, I actually have some mental health articles I wrote, and kind of based on me explaining my. I actually put a poem in there called Kevysie because I have anxiety. And I put like a description of what Kevysie meant and how I created Kevysie because I'm Kev and have an anxiety. Um, so I try to balance it out, not make the magazine so heavy. So it's like when you open it, it's like a welcome, little bit of a mental health article, comic,
Mhm.
interviews, then it's advice articles, and then some more interviews. So I try to keep it balanced and not be so heavy. And I give sneak peeks of upcoming comics that's coming from my company. And yeah, and I actually got inspired to do my own magazine for my friend at 180 Life Enterprise because that's his magazine company, and I love how he helps people showcase their brands. And so I'm like, I want it to be also help to be a voice for those that want a voice too.
Mhm.
Um, Especially in the comic industry, um, or any type of industry, really. Like, it's not, my magazine is not just based on comic industry. If you're a creator and want to be interviewed, you can just shoot me an email and I'll see you interview questions. And I also send mental health questions, but you're not obligated to answer those if you're not comfortable. I try to stress that a lot.
Nice.
I was like, you're
Yeah.
not obligated to answer the mental health questions. The only thing you're obligated to answer is just about you and your industry, why you joined, and just your story. But if you feel comfortable answering mental health, that's up to you. That's completely up to you. I just sent these just in case you want to speak on it. So yeah,
Nice. Nice. Sounds like a nice variety of offerings, and I love how you're bringing all of your passions and interests together.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything that we've missed that you want to make sure to share about what you're creating before we talk about where people can go to find it?
And no, that's pretty much as I can talk about right now.
All
That's
right.
actually,
Uh,
yeah.
Always nice
So
when there are things that to be unveiled, right? And there's
yeah,
that like plan for the next steps.
yeah,
Well, if I
because life can change things, and I don't want to announce something that's not, and if some might change, sounds like what I said is actually what's happening now. So I can leave it at that.
that makes sense.
So yeah,
Good, good strategy.
yes, sir.
If I'm a listener and I want to check out the work, where are some places that I might go to connect with you and read some of the material?
You can go find me on Instagram at I am Cameron Davis Official, and my business accounts are actually tagged in my personal account, so you can easily just follow those two if you want. Facebook, I am Cameron Davis CEO. Um, TikTok, if you have TikTok, it's Kevysie Studios uh, Kevysie Studios and Kevysie International. And the Kevysie is spelled Kevysie International or
Nice.
Kevysie Studios. So, and KevysieInternational.com is my website. You can check out the books, and you can also find Kevysie International on Global Comics if you like to read the digital versions.